Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and today I am at Hueco Tanks State Park, which is about 18 miles northeast of El Paso, Texas. And the Hueco tanks, the tanks are indentions in rocks where water collects when it rains. And ages ago, this place was occupied by an Indian tribe. And the way they survived throughout the year is by the collection of water in the tanks. There are just about 4 or 5 fairly large tanks, and then there's a bunch of small ones all around this area. But you do have to do some hiking to find them. So let me show you around the Hueco Tank State Park. And at the end of this video, I've got a little bonus for you. Stick around. Here's the visitor center where they have a movie about the park, and I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Very nice backdrop of a rock mountain here too. You can do some hiking around here too. Has some interesting features. You can see the light coming through right here. So you can walk right underneath that. And here's the ruins of one of the, I guess you could call ancient buildings that the Indians used. Here's another one on the other side of the visitor center. I'm going to look at the other side of it. That is a very sturdy wall. So I don't know what happened to this other side of it. It looks like 3 different rooms in a house. 3 bedroom, no bath, you might say. Here's a nice relief map of the park. And these dotted purple lines are the paved roads. And this whole area, you're free to hike anywhere you want by yourself. The park goes way down here, but below this point, you can only go in with a guide, and you can reserve a time to go down there with a guide. The campground is down at the end of the road here. I'll show you that later.
You'll hear it over and over again that this is an oasis in the desert. You look around and there's trees and there's water and there's ferns and mosses and things that you don't expect to see in the desert, and it's just something really exciting.
The Hueco Mountains are an oasis in the desert. The material that these mountains are made of collect water. And so because of that, people have been visiting this park for 10,000 years.
Hueco, the Spanish word for hollow, refers to natural depressions or holes in the rocks. Some of these features can hold water year-round, and precious water supports an otherwise dry environment.
The place is so special because you can step back in time and you can walk around and you can see why people have been here. You can see why this is such an important and special place.
Now this is one of the big tanks, which is right behind the visitor center. It's completely dry. You see this grassy bottom. If they get a hard rain and this thing fills up, it's gonna look like a lake, I think. This side has the rock mounds around it. This side is just like an earth bank, maybe about 10 feet high earth bank there. But over here it really levels off. So when they get enough rain, it's going to be about maybe 10 feet deep on this side, and then it's going to fill up over the banks, and here it's going to really spread out. There's still somewhat of a bank on this side, especially right there, so it's going to hold a lot of water. So when the Indians used to live here and they got a heavy rain, I imagine they would fill up all the pots that they had and use that water to grow their crops and save the water for drinking water for times that when they would have a drought. I'm just guessing that's the way they would run their lives with the otherwise lack of water here, just depending on the rains. There's no rivers or lakes. Here's a view from the other side, and even though it levels off over there, there's rock hills around it, so it's going to hold water just fine, although it would take a heck of a lot of water to fill this thing. Here is one of the Trailhead parking areas. There are two trails here, and this map shows this is the parking area, and the chain trail goes up, and then you come back, and then Site 17 trail is a little longer. And here is one of the Hueco tanks. Now it doesn't say just how long the trails are, and it doesn't show it going right up to the tank, but I'm sure there's a trail of getting there. There's also a lot of tanks up into the hills and the rock here. It only shows on the map the largest ones, but there's all sorts of tanks, places where it collects water. If you go hiking up there, you'll find them. I'm only staying here one day, so I'm not going to do a lot of hiking myself. I mainly just want to show you some of the features that you can see from the roads. Looks like that's starting to create a balanced rock. And it's a hot day, so I don't like to go hiking on hot days, especially when you're climbing hills like this. There are so many of these huge boulders. There's some more that you can see the light through. And I think this is the largest boulder I've seen. That is gigantic. This road has a locked gate. The sign says no pets, no bicycles, and it says no public camping right there. That is like whited out at any time. You can walk around it here, so obviously they want foot traffic only beyond this point. I don't know why. Well, now that I think about it, maybe they let you go in there with tents and camp. So these people parked here are, I think, rock climbing, hiking or rock climbing up there. They do allow rock climbing up into the rock hills. This might be a good place for lunch underneath that rock, if it doesn't happen to fall when you're here. I'm looking for a place where I can hike and climb at somebody else's risk. Here's another set of these rock hills. And off to the right, look at this. This is an amazing collection of huge boulders. Wow. Look at this. Zoom in. How do you like that? You might wonder if you could get lost up in there, but all you got to do is head downwards. This is kind of amazing, don't you think? Here's a good panorama shot, just a little further down than the last one. Look at this little guy standing up there by himself. There's another amazing pile of boulders, and here's a long strip of them here. Wow. I wonder why it just ends right there. This is like a real haven for rock climber enthusiasts. Here's a close-up shot of some of the boulders. We've got some kind of an amphitheater back here. The campground has 20 spaces. Some of them have water only, which is $16 a day, and some of them have water and electricity, which is $20 a day. So the extra 4 is definitely worth it, especially if you need air conditioning. Each space has its own trash can like that, and there's a dump station somewhere around here. The electricity is 20, 30, 50. There's the water faucet, and also have a really nice covered picnic table, plus a really nice tent space, if that's what you want. And as is typical with government campgrounds, there's a lot of area like this between each camping space. And out my windshield there, I have a nice view of one of the big rock mountains. This is where you turn off from the main highway to go to Hueco Tanks. And guess what this domed building is right here? It is a real estate office. So when I was coming up here from El Paso, I saw a couple of things kind of funny that I thought you might like to see. So one thing I thought was kind of funny is this gentleman's club. And it has a sign here that says, "Girls BYOB." Is that telling girls if you want to come in, you have to bring your own boyfriend? Is that how that works? Nude girls and ATM, typical combination. Wow. And the other thing I wanted to show you along the highway here, that is the Del Sol Church, which is right next door to an outdoor movie theater. You see that screen there? It's called the Fiesta Adult Drive-In. I wonder how the churchgoers like the location here. And they put their sign here right next to the Adult Drive-In and Adult Toy and Smoke Shop store. Here's the back of the movie screen. The drive-in movies start at 9 and go till 4 a.m. Wow. They used to have one of these drive-in movie theaters that showed only adult movies in Pasadena, Texas, which is adjacent to Houston on the southeast side, back when I lived in Houston in the 1970s. This is the first one I've seen since then that is an outdoor theater. And instead of going into the snack bar for popcorn, you go in for DVDs. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Good day, folks.